Hello everybody, today I'm going to do one that's a little bit different. So welcome to today. We're looking at a Maxell UR90 which is being used in a Yamaha cassette deck. This being a KX493 and it's been done with auto tune put on for the bias but no Dolby noise reduction. This is a little bit of a variation on what I normally do. We can go through it and you can see how it makes a difference. So here we go. Okay, let's cut away. Oh, looking up there. No, anyway, right. Sorry, no. This is the trace of the Maxell tape using the normal standard tones, and this is the way it should work. So it's nice and simple. The tracks are exactly the same as if I'd recorded them myself. However, we'll have a look at them and see what's what. You can see it's really quite nice on there, but this is where we've got to go. Okay, so whipping back to there, let's first of all have a little bit of Patrick Patricos. We've got to see what he sounds like, and then later on you can see why he sounds like he does. Let's see if I can get this to work. So that's at the 0 dB. So now let's go along to the -20 and see if there's any perceivable difference. Play the same bit. Yes, you can hear there's a bit of a difference there. Obviously it's very much quieter, but the actual sound quality is pretty good. So now what I normally do at this point is I have a look at things like distortion, frequency response, etc. So we'll save the frequency response until the end. So if you want to find out how good the frequency response is, you're going to have to wait. But let's have a quick look at the distortion. So this here, what you can see in the middle here, is the 1 kilohertz and 3 kilohertz signals. Now you can see there's a slight misbalance on the two channels here. That's probably down to tape travel. But anyway, let's have a look at, this is your 1 kilohertz and this is how it looks. Pow. So what we've got on here, there's your main peak, which is showing at just a fraction over 0 dB. It should be 0 dB, so that's about right. And here is your third harmonic distortion. So this is your 3 kilohertz peak. Now that's at -42 dB, which means that it's 42 dB down, which is quite a long way. And then you look up here, you can see other little peaks, which are the various distortions. So that's that one. But then let's have a look at the same thing on the -20. So here we go. Click on the appropriate buttons and boom. There we go. So this is the -20 one, and as you can see, beautiful there. It's a fraction over -20. It's at -18, but that would tie in with the original one. So the ratios are correct, but there is no third harmonic distortion peaks on there. There's nothing there. So the noise level on this point is at -75 dB, approximately. There we go. And you've got a little bit of a thing here, -65 dB, which is at just under 50 hertz. So we'll ignore that. So that's pretty good, as you can see on there. Let's close that down. Now let's have a look at the 3 kilohertz 0 dB. Bear in mind it's 0 dB recorded. This is the playback levels that we got. So they're not going to be exactly right. Here we go. Plot spectrum. Boom. So there's your 3 kilohertz spike. There is your 3 kilohertz spike. And then you can see you've got subharmonics. So you've got a 1 kilohertz spike there, which is down at -54 dB. So the difference, obviously that's 54 dB, but it's actually, I don't know if you notice, not that much lower. It's actually 3 dB lower, than that one, which is the 6 kilohertz spike. So that's an even harmonic there, which is interesting. And then your odd harmonic, your third harmonic here, is at minus 42 dB. So that's quite high. Let's now have a look at the equivalent minus 20 dB recording. Bearing in mind this was all done in one take, so therefore these are valid comparison figures. Now on here you can see there's the nice 3 kilohertz there, and effectively there is a little rumble there, but this is at minus 73 dB. So there is a good difference between that minus 73 dB and that which is minus 18. So all you got to do is take 73 dB, 73 minus 18 equals 50 something. So you got a good 50 odd dB signal to noise ratio there, and that, as you can see, is a lovely trace. So let's stick with that. Now the next thing to look at is let's have a look at this. So that there, for your interest, is the frequency response track, and that's the same again. Now what I have on here, on the tail end here, we have a 3 kilohertz, which is used for wow flutter measurements, etc. But we won't go into that on this one. This is a distortion and when it pulls in. So this is stepped, but it's okay. Don't normally look at this one. This is much the same as that one, only it's going from low to high. So let's just have a very quick look at that. See, this is a signal that's a rising signal. So look at that. There's the bottom, which is beautiful. Then look at that, which is the top. Bearing in mind this is the same signal, and you can see there's the distortions in there. So that's what that one's for. However, let's have a look then at something. We'll have a look at the white noise and the pink noise. So this is your white noise. The relevance of this is obvious to some people and totally oblivious to others, but I'll tell you what it is. So if we plot it here, right, this is a sound that it covers the entire frequency spectrum all at once, and it is supposedly all at the same level. And you can see on here that the replay has obviously had to suffer. Now it's 24 dB is there on the top, 24, 27, 30. So they're 3 dB steps. So if we take that as being a plus 3 dB, what we can do is run along here and say minus 3 dB point is just between 10 and 11k. Now here you can see here is the white noise, and this is at minus 20 compared to the other one. How do we reckon it's going to be? Let's have a look. Plot spectrum. Boom. Now look at that. That is 43. There are 1 dB steps on the grid. So if we say 43, so we've got plus or minus 3 dB. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 7, 8. So right. So there's your bottom line, so to speak. So when it gets to, look at that, that is now 17.5k. I think you can see that this tape doesn't like being overdriven that much in terms of frequency response, because that's now up at 17k. That's white noise. One of the things that I do normally do is I play the buff ting. Now the buff ting is recorded on here, and it is intended to be, quite simply, a transient sound, so it would give you distortion possibly because it's, but more importantly, the ting gives you a wow flutter impression. Doesn't actually give you any numbers, but it gives you an impression, so that sounded very good. Let's go back now to the other end, and we normally get a silent reading. So between here and here there is no sound. This is a part of the tape that has not been recorded on, but has been erased, of course, because the erase head is in operation all the time on a normal cassette deck. Plot spectrum. Right, so this has been done without Dolby, and it's been tuned optimally by the auto tune for bias. Now looking at this, you can see there is a bit of print through, but basically the majority of the noise is going to be down at minus 74, but there is a little bit of print through, so this is, with the print through, that's producing that sort of result. See if we can, and that's where I normally take my silence figures from. What I do know though is that on here there's been some interesting things. Let me just shoot back to the beginning. This is where, this is pre-print through, so this is where there's no chance of print through. This is on the, basically on this take-up hub. Let's have a look at this, and we'll plot the spectrum there. Now this hasn't got print through, but this has got obviously some effect. Now the maximum noise figure on there is minus 75.7 dB, which is pretty impressive. Quiet bit is that, which is minus 75.1. So if we close that and go to the other end of the tape, we've got here, we've got something that's never been run at all because it was stopped before it got here. And if we look at that, perfect. That's what a brand new unused tape looks like. And if we go to here, you can see where it was run off, I think. Yeah, and there's the runoff, which looks very similar to the front. So there's an interesting bit for you. But you'll never ever see the other one except to play total silence. And that's it. Okay, so now let's get to the pièce de résistance, or the bit at the end, whichever way you want to look at it. So the important thing here is freeze response. Now on this trace here, you can see we've got this rather nice looking torpedo shaped thing. This is the freeze response from the original signal, and we'll have a look at this. Wow, there we go. That's 21 to 20, so 3 dB on the divisions there, plus or minus 3 dB. The freeze response on this tape is just over 10k. But you can then see that it drops down quite massively, and there's a little upkick at the end there. But we've actually got output at just over 20k, albeit very small. However, let's have a look at the minus 20 dB. You've got this sort of strange situation where the quieter the signal, the louder it records. We've seen that already, so let's have a look on here and do the analyze bit. Wow, look at that. Now that is good. You can see there that it's well within tolerances. It's just, this here is actually quite incredible. You've got, again, you've got 3 dB ones there, but if we go from there to there, take it across, it's got a freeze response of over 17.5k. In fact, if we give it a little bit of a leeway, it is 17.5k. But look at the drop off after that. It's only 3 dB, 6 dB, and then 12 dB down to just on the 19.5k. As far as this is concerned, this tape produces really good results, provided you don't try to get too high on your levels, which is pretty constant with all tape. Don't overdrive, because even if you don't get distortion, you will get frequency loss. But that's it overall. If you thought that this was a better way of doing it, then let me know in the comments. If you like what you've seen, or you don't like what you've seen, maybe put that in the comments. Now, anyway, if you like, subscribe, and we'll see you another time. Interesting video coming up here.